For this assignment, you're going to need to read each of the blue boxes on these slides to tell you more about these events that pushed the colonists closer to revolution. So, let's do the first one together. Proclamation of 1763. It is 1763 and the Treaty of Paris marks the end of the French and Indian War, which grants Britain lots of valuable land in North America. Despite this land, King George has just issued a proclamation telling the colonists they cannot go west of the Appalachian Mountains. To learn more about why he did this and more about the proclamation, you're going to watch this video here, so make sure you do that. Just to continue on here, we've now defined the proclamation of 1763. So in your notebook, okay, so you're going to go to your notebook on page 10, and you are going to type, or you're going to handwrite, the definition to the Proclamation of 1763. You see it here on this slide. So we would say King George issued a line telling the colonists they could not go west of the Appalachian Mountains. So we want to try and understand what is the loyalist perspective versus what is the patriot perspective of this proclamation line. So if we look here, it says loyalist British perspective. There are still some French settlers and Native Americans that are continuing to wage war even after the peace treaty has been signed. The British government does not want any American colonists to be hurt by these events. The king wants to protect his people. So from a loyalist perspective, this line is meant to protect Americans. So you can say King George wants to protect American colonists from Native Americans and other French men living in those territories. So this line is meant as a protection. That's what a loyalist, someone loyal to the king, would say in defense of the proclamation line. Let's look at the patriot perspective. However, many colonists want to expand their western boundaries. Why are we being restricted? Surely this must be a plot to keep the American colonists under the British Crown's influence. So from a patriot perspective, they fought for that land in the French and Indian War. They want to be able to settle it. Other patriots, again, people who are getting frustrated with King George, eventually want to break free. They're going to feel this is a plot to try and control the colonists. If the colonists start to expand west, that's going to be even further away from the governors in power, right, that report directly to the king. So those patriots are going to argue this is the king's way of holding on to control. So you are going to be reading through various events that are frustrating the king, or frustrating the patriots, whereas the loyalists are going to be defending this. So read the blue box, fill in the definition, then figure out what is the loyalist perspective versus what is the patriot perspective.